If this is your first time in my life, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel the Jr. I'm the apostle and pastor of Apostle Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in ATRs. I want to say, first of all, salutation to my madrina, to my padrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in E5, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, Aj, Conjurers of the craft, of the ATRs, of magic. This is Saturday as above, so below. I want to also say to my first, so I'll say hello to Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. Welcome back to my baby Scorpio. What's up, my Stormy, my Sage from Detroit, Mama Susan back in the house. I want to say first of all, I'm excited for this particular live. Thank you for everybody that is tolerating this internet system. I really want to get this out, and I want to make sure that I am teaching this in a way that people will have a better understanding of what real magic is, real conjure is, real mysticism. I've been doing magic since I was 3 to 4 years old. I'm 52 years of age. I love conjure. I love all that it entails. A lot of things that I'm going to be talking about today is going to help, especially if you're a Capricorn, if you are an Aquarius, or if you have placements in your chart, whether it's a moon sign, whether it's a rising sign, or just a placement in your planet. I'm going to explain and I'm tell you why, once again, why it is important that if you're going to be good at magic, no matter what your ATR is, you're going to have to be good in science and math. It's important. Saturn, as above, so below, is a negative planet, a malefic planet. And I'm going to say this again for the benefit of all. Negative does not mean evil. It's a negative charge. It's a grounding charge. Remember, Saturn is of the material world. Saturn is also a planet that we utilize to manifest certain things. If you're working with energy, you can do a negative work through Saturn and it not be evil. What's up there? Demetrius is back in the house. My Boaz is now. Nisi, Aries in the house. What's up, my aphrodisiac on a Saturday? My Tasha Foster from North Carolina. It is important that when you watching me, you understand that I come from a sober-minded position of magic, spirituality. Even when it comes to my healing, even when it comes to my protection, anytime I'm working with energy, this is some of the things that I pay attention to. I'm having a client fly down. They're going to be getting the fumigation on today. And the reason I want to explain the fumigation, and I say positive and negative charge when it comes to fumigation, is how you help people. And energy is what it is. How much energy you can bring has to do with your measure and your development. Okay? Because you can be an Aries, but you don't bring as much energy as another Aries because they're more developed. Okay? Everybody don't have the same development. Everybody's not, and I'm gonna tell you a reason being because people are not interested in learning magic, spirituality. They're interested in doing spell, and that hinders your development because once you get developed, you can do spells, you can do conjure, you can do you. That's the whole concept about teaching a man how to fish. Once you learn how to fish, you eat when you want to. If people would spend the time in developing their energy, whether it's an air sign, whether it's an earth sign, whether it's a fire sign, whether it's a water sign, they're not doing it. you focusing on your desires, in other words, what you want to come to pass, versus you focus on who you are, why you were born, and the purpose of why you're born. So therefore, you have more confidence in your spell work or your prayer life because of the simple fact you know you on your path, you on your destiny. You know that people cannot stop your destiny. It's only when you get off the yellow brick road do you have complication. It's only when you take the mind of people over the mind of God. Okay? So Saturday is something that is I'm gonna teach and hopefully clarify. I think I said I acknowledge the Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Now, when my client comes down here, because I understand science, I understand her energy. You can't help people with magic when you don't understand not only your energy, but the energy of other people, places, and things. I should add that. First of all, I'm going to say this again, by definition. Negative charge is a state where a object or a particle has excess electrons compared to protons, resulting in a negative electrical state. Electrons are negative and protons are positive. Positive charge is an electrical charge that when an object has more protons than electrons. This is essential to understanding your energy as a Capricorn, as an Aquarius, or your placement. Also, when you're doing banishing work, you can do banishing work on Mars or you can do on Saturn. They're both banishing work, but they're utilizing different energy. Okay? Now, I want to say this. Electrical energy is the fundamental property of matter. Matter is light, is dark matter. Matter is primordial energy, but it's negative. If we don't change our mindset when it comes down to negative energy, we look at negative energy in a negative way, a negative concept, because we don't understand that it's not associated with evil. Negative is not associated with evil. Evil is a concept made up by the Catholic Church. You need to understand the science behind the alchemy, science behind the magic or the energy. So therefore, I understand when I say negative, I'm saying this is a receptive energy. This is a fertile energy. This energy can birth. This energy can produce after its own kind. See, when I understand that, or I can use this negative energy because of the position of Saturn to banish something, to get rid of. You need to understand the science behind this magic and how fumigation also helps you cleanse, also helps you become empowered. Now, we use different incense to fumigate. So, depending on what this individual wants in their life, so the fumigation takes an hour. Now, the fact that I understand, let me go to here. Electrical charge is the fundamental property of matter carried by some subatomic particles, electrons, and protons. So, electrical charge has to have a positive and a negative, or a negative and a positive. This is why I said on the onset that Minister Mara and I were very good together when it came to manifestation, because I had a positive charge and he had a negative charge. I need y'all to really grow up in your spirituality and not be around here saying that because something is negative. This is why you hear me use the terminology harmful energy, because positive energy can be harmful or negative energy can be harmful. Negative energy can be helpful, or positive energy can be helpful, depending on the person, the place, or the thing. That's why it's more complicated than a lot of people profess, or they don't even know it's that complicated. Because you can use one herb that actually promotes your health or well-being, and then use another herb that totally goes against. This is why when we eat fruits and we eat foods, that's why they either make us stronger or weaker, depending on our electrical charge. Because walnuts walnuts may strengthen one person and they may weaken another. This is why we have a statement in our black church, on our black culture. Oh, I got with her and my life went down. Oh, I got with him and my life went down. Maybe y'all electrical energy were warring against each other. It had nothing to do with your name. It had nothing to do with your address. It had nothing to do with your social security number. It had nothing to do with it. That y'all energy, electrical energy, was shorting out or repelling one another. Because you think you don't see people as energy. I do. I'm gonna say this again. This is why if you're gonna deal with somebody that either hinders your energy, blocks your energy, or that person canceled out your energy, you need to cleanse. Because I ain't here to tell nobody who to be with, who to be around. That ain't my job. My job, if you find yourself in a situation like that, instead of saying this person is against you or negative, maybe y'all have different electrical charges that are not conducive to your prosperity, your health, and your well-being. See, interacting with people is dangerous. We are a city set upon a hill that cannot be hid. With that being the mindset, I realize that every time I interact with somebody, I can either prosper because of the energy, the electrical charge, or I can default. What's up about jealous Swedes? When it comes down to energy and being fumigated, the person need to know the individual. I need to have a basic basis of understanding of what is going to bring success in your life. And I need to know whether you have a positive charge or a negative charge. Do you have a grounding energy? Remember, none of this ain't about good or evil. And I said this before. People that come up with Christian beliefs have a harder time developing their spirituality because they want to make everything about a good or evil. And it's not. To get my healing, I had to understand what was causing my issues. Let me tell y'all something. In my case, grieving, going from one situation to the next, that electrical charge started wearing on me, even though I'm a positive energy. I'm gonna say that again. You can't manifest a positive with a negative, but you get a positive outcome with a negative energy. That's why I'm using the term banishing. Getting rid of something with a negative energy can bring a positive outcome. You can bring in a positive energy. And I'm using an example. Say, for instance, because I'm a Sagittarius, optimism, inspiration. That don't work with somebody that got to see it to believe it. There's a positive energy, but it's getting a negative outcome because that person is a Doubting Thomas. When people don't operate by inspiration, then you can't give them that energy. You have to give them an energy that they can move forward in life. Prosperity comes by a positive charge, just like it comes by in a negative charge. And it has to do with manifestation. And the fact that Saturn is the material world, we understand that are spiritual. We understand that in order to manifest in the material world, I have to have negative energy. I bet you ain't heard that. Because Saturn is a negative energy. It is an energy that can be used to fertilize. It can be used to manifest. And it's also a heavy energy because it's lead. I think I said this earlier. I'm going to repeat it. Make sure I get it out. This is why when we used to do old school magic, we used to take the brown paper bag and the number 2 pencil, because that number 2 pencil had lead in it. And in order to manifest that negative situation that we wanted for our enemies, we need a negative energy to attach to a negative energy. Whether it's sadness, whether it's depression, this all energy exists. But when you want to compound somebody's outcome with a negative outcome, then you bind that negative emotion, that negative thought, that negative action, that negative pattern. Because I just implemented all 4 elements. Because you can bring some negative to somebody mentally, you can bring some negative to somebody emotionally, you can bring somebody's negativity through their action, and you can also bring negativity through the patterns that people have when you understand your enemy or your adversary. So my thing is, a lot of times when you trying to get rid of something or you try to bring something in, that's why we use bitter herbs to get rid of stuff, and we use sweet herbs to bring in things. You gotta know how energy works, and you gotta know that your particular situation may be very, very different than somebody else's situation, and therefore it needs to be addressed differently, and you both can get the same outcome. But the fact that we don't understand that every last one of us are distinctly different, and we have different missions, then we try to address everybody with the same antidote. That's why I use universal laws. Universal laws apply and are applicable to everybody, because everybody don't have a path in voodoo. Everybody don't have a path in hoodoo. Everybody don't have a path in Wicca. But everybody is energetic. Everybody understands frequency, vibration. Those things apply. Those things can get you exactly what you want with the understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. Why I don't know if Michael is here. When you use my cleanser, because I have a knowledge of your energy, this is why you get the manifestation you get. You're not gonna get a Aquarius or a Cancer, Aquarius or a Capricorn to manifest without proof. That's the energy. It's tangible. And it should make more sense from a scientific approach than you sitting there talking about that's my wife, that's my girlfriend, that's my husband, that's my boyfriend, that's my mom, that's my dad. If you see them as energy, you will get along a lot better and navigate in life a lot better. Like when you taught me to understand the energy I was dealing with interaction, it was easy, a lot easier. I know that's right. Let me tell you something. I'm not here to make life difficult. I'm 52 years old. I'm here to make life simpler. It can be complicated if you ain't growing, you ain't evolving, you ain't learning. It can be complicated and more difficult when you refuse to get the tools that you need. I'm telling you, I'm showing you in real time my own situation. Not only with my children, with my family, with myself, with my loved ones, with my enemies. This is why, if you want to be really help people, and I was telling Mother Susan this, nobody has really good intention of helping other people when they ain't trying to learn. Because you can't help nobody until you help yourself. Every time you try to do a shortcut, not only do you hurt you, but you going to teach that bullshit to other people. Because there ain't no such thing as a shortcut. Because you think you're so smart. And that let me tell y'all something. Let me give you some wisdom when it comes to Saturn. Even with advantages, you still got to do right. You still, even with the one that had the 5 talents. Only reason why he had 5 more, because he did right. He didn't have more because he was given more. He had more because he invested and did what he was supposed to do. The one that had 3 talents, he didn't have more because God just favored him. He had to work just like the one with 5. The only one that thought they didn't have to work was the one given 1 talent. Your mentality hinder you, because if all of them would have did what they supposed to do, all of them would have had that response. Well done, that good and faithful servant. You don't have to be rich to be successful. You don't have to have a white house with a picket fence to be happy. You got to do your work. And that's what people got a problem with Saturn. You don't want to do your work. You think that you're going to find a way to get around what everybody else got to do. Some of you guys, let me tell y'all something. You may not believe this, and I'm going to tell you, you ain't going to have no more power. You ain't going to have no more money. You ain't going to have no more than what it's meant for you to have. The reason why some of us have more, because we are being utilized, because he said, I give seed to the sower. The people that are going to be pouring into other people, God got to give you more. Not only to be able to take care of yourself, take care of your family, but also to help other people. Why do you need more knowledge? Because you're not a sower. Why you need more money? Because you're not a sower. You're going to have just what you have been purposed. Every force, every energy, every frequency. I don't have because I'm Apostle Ely. I was born. Until people understand that, I don't care how many times you go to get work done. It has to be given. Permission has to be granted. And your ancestors, your pathway is always going to be considered. Always going to be considered. I don't care if that person knows exactly what they're doing. They got a track record. They don't miss. If that spirit has no intention of working with you, it ain't happening. That's the reality of black people. Keep listening. Saturn is there to help you. Saturn is there to help you have structure, line your ass up. And that's what most black people, and I say this, most black people, when I tell you something, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to tell you what it is. You do what you want to do with it. You could tell a young lady not to mess with that man. She could tell she the one got to suffer consequences. You could tell somebody, oh, this right here be good for you. Everybody got a choice. You could say yeah or nay. The purpose of me being on this platform is to show you what can be done through the ATRs. I can't turn around and promise you because of what I got going on that you gonna have it going on when you won't put that kind of work in. Demetrius oftentimes will say you the hardest working man in Conjure. Why would you be looking for a turnaround, a manifestation when you don't work hard like me? Even with my gifts, my talent, and my ability. Saturn is rough, but she's right. And you pronounced it right. Saturn is a she, feminine energy, and a negative energy. Because Saturn is a grounding energy. See, when you understand it scientifically, when you understand, like when it comes to Maya and all that, you understand it's all alchemy. It's energy, it's frequency, it's vibration, it's representing of a particular spirit, energy, a vibration. And all those spirits, no matter what the tradition are, they have to draw from the same source. They all got to draw from the same source. Because there ain't but one source. So when you in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, if you ain't handling the spirit of love the right, correct way, you gonna get your ass whooped. In this life, and the life to come. Because you are eternal. See, when you understand revelation and insight, you start living your life as an eternal being. And I'm not doing what I'm doing because I'm afraid of this person or that person. I don't want that karma. I don't want that energy on me. And energy cannot be destroyed. And if I'm afloat in that energy, that's what's going to follow me into the afterlife. It's just that simple. You have not because you ask not. And you won't not because you don't want to work. If you get the same tools I'm getting and you apply the same effort that I'm applying, you're going to get the same. God is, this is what I'm especially Christian. Either God is fair or he not. Either she fair or she not. Masculine energy, feminine energy. Either it's fair for everybody or it's not. You can't make it both. If I don't live this life more times than you, I'm gonna be further in my development than you are. That's not unfair. If my energy been here more times than yours, I'm gonna probably be more advanced. Or I can be here many times over you. And I done failed every time. Does that make you being unfair? God being unfair? Because you a new soul and you more advanced than I am? Because what my truth is, I done did a whole lot of bullshit that done hinder my progress. And you a new soul and you ain't did all that. So when it comes down to people's life and who they born and what their destiny are, they ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. In last life, you was sucking dick. This life, you eating pussy. Because masculine energy has no gender. Energy don't have a gender. You done been a man, you done been a woman, you done been a dog, you done been a whole lot of things. Especially if you done been energetic. That's why you got the spirits you got. In their development. This is important. So you're not out here struggling, expecting one thing when Saturn ain't listen, Saturn will keep you real. This is why I don't believe that somebody can stop me from getting what God got for me. Because of Saturn. My North Node is in Capricorn. That's why I create businesses all around my spirituality. Because I was born to do this. You trying to compete with somebody that was really set up internally to do what they're doing. And I'm the one you should be listening to. Because I'm the one can afford not to give you bullshit. I'm the one that can, because I realize that if I get out here and I don't do right, I'm hindering my own development. And I love me too much. I love me too much. Hit that like button, y'all. I love me too much. You can count on me loving myself the way I love myself, not to be lying to you. Because I'm not going to do me like that. The stuff I see my saints through, the shit I see them take themselves through, because they trying to crook, they trying to even with their blessings, they find a way to turn it into a curse. I'm going to say it again. Even with their blessings, they find a way to turn it into a curse. You can give some people a smaller measure of blessing and they'll build an empire. You can give somebody else the almost a whole pie. They ain't gonna have nothing to show for it. It ain't Ifa, it ain't voodoo, it ain't Santeria, it ain't Lakumi, it ain't conjure, it ain't root work, it ain't Obia. There's some people out here support me, and God has always moved for them. And He moved in God, divine energy, moved speedy. And there's other people, because the shit they done, it's always struggle. I can use some of the strongest candles. I know my shit. I know y'all think I'm cocky, but it's the truth. Because the energy that you put in, I'm telling y'all something. Saturn is about timing, punctuality. One thing a Capricorn or an Aquarius will not tolerate is you to waste their time. People that are born up under this energy or got this placement in that particular area of their life, whatever it is, it could be their love life, it could be their financial life, it could be their family. They will not tolerate you to waste their time. Saturn will help you become a better time management. The only person that you need to be worried about what time you need to be managing is not your husband, not your wife, not your children. Your time. Because when your time is up, and can't a damn thing be done. Unless you done went like Nehemiah and turned your face to the wall and God gave you 15 more years. And in them 15 years, he did more fuck shit. He caused more problems to his life in the additional 15 years than he would have if he'd have left here and got his house in order. Sometimes, some of y'all don't need more time. Because you going to fuck off anyway. You going to procrastinate anyway. And I'm telling you about a Capricorn or an Aquarius, sir, ma'am, you finna have a hard time with them people. And they will drop your ass. Then the people you be like, oh, she didn't leave you. She told you what time to be there and you wasn't there. And she departed. Because they believe in punctuality. Ask Mr. Mars, he gives the guy. I say that. You can't really ask him. But he would tell you, I be taking my time. I be getting stuff. I'm trying to make sure we got everything. And he be like, we gotta go. You gonna make us late. That's their natural energy. That's when I'm trying to tell you that when you do a spell or you do a prayer that you do when you feel like it and you ain't really doing it when it's told you, it's gonna be consequences for doing shit when you want to versus when you do when you're supposed to. I'm just keeping it real with you. You could have did that on a Monday, but you waited till Wednesday. There's gonna be consequences to that. You did it when you felt like it. It's gonna be consequences to that. I'm just keeping it out all this line and making people feel like they can do something when they want to, when it's convenient. None of that's true. When you take things out of a certain slot, right? Remember I told you every 21 days energy changes. Because your 21 days ain't my 21 days. My baby Capricorn rising, I can attest to that. My storm is that I can tell, don't put off today for tomorrow is real. And she's a Sagittarius. But her rising sign, I'm trying to tell you how you can actually get along with people better. If this is your makeup, Stormy, then if you dealing with a procrastinator, that person can't be your best friend. Because y'all going to be fighting. You're going to end up whooping their ass. That fire with that Sagittarius and then that Capricorn rising sign, because Capricorn going to have you serious, your head space. And then you're going to feel like they trying you. And they just being who they are. That ain't a good match. That's what I mean by energy. That if you understand that energy, you're going to understand how to do conjure. You're going to learn how to put energy where it's supposed to be. When you trying to develop as a man or woman in this spiritual journey, you need to understand the science behind Saturn, the science behind energy, the science behind manifestation, and there you will understand negative energy is not evil energy. I'm gonna say it again. Saturn is negative energy. This is why the church styles the negative energy as Satan, when it has nothing to do with evil. It has to do with development. It has to do with being a taskmaster. Remember, it said task. A task is work, right? The word task means work. Master, mastery of work. Whatever that work is, whether it's spiritual work, natural work, sex work, it don't matter. That means you are there to master that or perfect that. And when you there to do what you feel like doing, that's why you're going to struggle in the material world. Because whether you whether you are Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, or Sagittarius, and I omitted Aquarius and Capricorn for a reason. If you want anything from the material world, you got to go through them energies. I'm going to say it again. If you want to develop in any of the material world, you got to go through the goat. You got to go through the goat. You got you got Capricorn on you. This flesh right here that was this is the spirit that was made flesh. The material world. The material world. How you think I got healed? Through the material world. You can't manifest nothing without respecting and honoring the material world. You can't bring nothing down to this earth without the material world. It's grounding. And when you won't respect negative energy, because you calling it evil, you wonder why you don't have material things. You wonder why you don't have material, because you too busy bashing Satan. I'm gonna say, I said it. You too busy bashing Satan to get anything from the material world, because that means you're disrespecting Saturn, and Saturn gonna beat your ass. So you want to know why a lot of Christians be suffering? Because they were taught in them churches to be all here Satan this and Satan that, and Saturn and saying, I ain't fucking with you. But if I want to, I'll fuck with you. Because Saturn is a female. It's feminine energy. When you bothering energy ain't bothering you, because you got ignorant teachers and telling you about that Satan and that's the devil. You keep on messing with Saturn, and Saturn gonna put her foot in your ass, and you wonder why you sick. You wonder why you poor, because Saturn strip you. It's a material. She ruled that. I'm trying to help you out. I respect it. I didn't tell you to call on Satan. I said Saturn. That's what Catholic Church called Saturn, Satan. But I want you to understand why you see most Christians struggling and having issue and dealing with karma. Because the church taught you that you have a right to go around here saying Satan this and Satan that. I rebuke Satan. You gonna rebuke a whole planet? Do you really got that kind of power? You gonna rebuke a whole entity? I'm just telling you, starting a war that God ordained. God ordained the planets for us to develop in. And once again, I ain't telling you what to do. Go ahead on, continue in that thought process. I want to know how it turned out for you. Because ain't nothing going to change. So each and every one of you guys, that's what the fumigation is all about. I just have a lot of knowledge and skill set when it comes to helping God's people if they want to be helped. But I ain't finna push nothing on nobody, because my North Node is a Capricorn, and I just don't have time for it. I'm 52 years old. I'm 52 years old. If I don't know something by now, I never know it. I mean that. You stop fighting against Saturn. Stop fighting against the material world. If you want to be heavenly bound, then your ass should have never came to the earth. But as long as your ass points to the ground, the long as your ass points to the ground, you need the material world. Stop being ignorant. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So if you against Satan or Saturn, then stop quoting that. Stop quoting God gonna give you the daily bread, because that's Saturn. This Saturn, pain. It's Saturn. Stop unnecessarily causing yourself to suffer because you don't have no respect for the energy. Stop making it a problem for yourself, because you ain't gonna beat Saturn. I don't care how many people tell you that you ain't gonna beat Saturn. It was never ordained for you to be there. It's a part of the ecosystem spiritually. And you need to understand that. If you're going to get fumigated by Chief Apostle Samuel Jr., I'm here to help. Other than that, people can continue to live their life like they do. It ain't going to help them. It ain't going to help them. All right. Thank you for your time. I'm going to delete that other video. But I want you all to understand, it's different between harmful energy and electrical energy that is coming, whether it's a negative charge or whether it's electrical charge. All right. God bless.